Hello, good afternoon, students. How are you? Had your lunch? Okay, as
Hello.
usual. Hi, good afternoon. Okay, technical.
Hello.
Please hands up if you can see and hear me. All students. Okay, if you are new in these teams, so here you can see there is one button here. Okay, so you can give reaction. So you can click this button, raise your hand if you can see and hear me. Okay, thank you. How about Aisha and Yang Ting? Can you see me and hear me? Okay, thank
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay,
Hello.
thank you. Recording is started now. For today's class, although this is a tutorial, but I would like to give you one lecture. Okay, where is it? Okay, this one, yes. Lecture week 2, structured or traditional methodologies. Then we will have one tutorial activity. Okay, because this one only a few slides and we can do it maybe less than 1 hour. Okay, right. So just want to remind you in case you missed my yesterday class, you can get my materials from Moodle. Where is it? Moodle, you are, okay, this one. Okay, so this is your Moodle link. Let me share in the meeting chat box. What is this? Oh, not yet, not yet. Okay, you can lower your hand. Right, so you can get my materials from Moodle. Okay, so what I will do for the first agenda, we will do lecture slides. So please open lecture slides folder. Okay, so we will do week 2 structured methodologies. Then I will have one tutorial activity. For this activity, we will use Padlet interactive board. I will share the link later. Okay. Now, alternatively, you can also get my materials in Teams. Now, in Teams, you must go to General. Okay, because my materials are centralized in the General channel. Go to Files. Okay, Class Materials, then Lecture Slides. Right, the same slides. Please download week 2. Okay, and for your assignment, you can get it from assignment folder. Okay, same in Moodle, you can also get your assignment in the assignment folder, this one. Okay, the same one. Okay, now another thing I want to remind you regarding the recording. Okay, so all classes will be inside the online classes channel. However, you cannot play my recording from the meeting history here. Okay, so if you try to play here, okay, from the yesterday's meeting history, then you will see this message. You cannot play. What you need to do in this online classes channel, you must go to Files tab, open the recordings folder. Okay, then you check the meeting label or meeting name clearly. Alright, so this one from yesterday, week 1, lecture class. Today is week 1, but tutorial class. Okay, according to the timetable, today should be, yes, T means tutorial. Okay, so please help yourself where to get your meeting recording. Now, regarding the attendance, yes, me personally, I will only accept if any medical reasons, but definitely you must provide a valid letter or proof from clinic or hospital. Okay, now in case you couldn't attend your class due to any other reason, usually this one case by case, but I'm not going to simply take your attendance. Okay, usually I will review your case and probably I will ask you to provide some proof or evidence, and usually you need to do some activity, and I will set some date and time when you need to submit that activity, and therefore I can update your attendance. However, this is really case by case. Okay, if your reason is overslept, definitely that reason is not acceptable. Then let it be absent. Okay, so that is regarding the attendance. Although this is a prereq module, but still you need to follow the university rules regarding the class attendance. Okay, right now. So any questions before I start? No? Okay, then I will start with the first agenda. Let's do lecture week 2. So we will discuss structured methodologies. Okay, okay, including the techniques and tools. And at the end of this class, you should be able to explain principles under the traditional or structured system development methodologies, and therefore you can use it in your assignment. Okay, remember that you don't have exam, only assignment. Now, traditional SDM, this is one of the very first system development methodologies. Okay, in this traditional SDM, I will introduce you to 3 different methodologies. If you did your IT degree, I believe you are familiar with waterfall model or waterfall methodology, because waterfall methodology is a popular methodology. Okay, even since I did my degree. The second one we will discuss as SADM. This stands for Structured System Analysis and Design Methodology, and the last one we will discuss V model. Right now, if you're wondering, okay, let me set to slideshow. Okay, let me show my pointer. Right, can someone say yes if you can see my screen and my yellow pointer? Someone say yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because in the slideshow, I cannot see the meeting chat box, yes? Okay, right. So now, just want to recall from yesterday's topic. System or information system development methodologies. Okay, in a nutshell, it provides us full guidelines on how to manage our software development project. Now, generally there are 2 types of SDM. The first one, traditional. The second one, modern or agile methodologies. Today, what we will discuss is the first type, traditional SDM. So when I said SDM, okay, you know what does it mean? Yes, SDM, system development methodologies. Okay, guidelines or steps or stages on how to manage your software development project. Okay, now today's topic is under the traditional SDM. So this methodologies developed in 1970. It has detailed steps. Okay, therefore it is good for beginners. Okay, so I always inform my degree students. Okay, so when you finish your degree program and perhaps some of them willing to continue to master, okay, go ahead. But maybe most of them usually they will looking for a job, and some of them probably looking for IT related job. Okay, and some of them even interested to be a system analyst or project manager, and some others probably they are interested to be programmers and etc. Okay, now when you finish your IT program, meaning that you should have, I'm not going to say you should have advanced knowledge and advanced skill, no, but at least once you finish your IT program, meaning that you should have some knowledge and some skills, isn't it, in IT field. And one of them is that knowledge in terms of managing software development project. Because why? Usually in the lecture, we give you theories, concepts, but then how to apply those concepts and theories, Usually we will provide case studies, activities, and etc. so that you can apply those concepts in case study. However, we realize that when you finish your IT program, I'm talking about degree, yes, definitely you have zero work experience, isn't it? Yes, you have some knowledge, you have some skills, but probably your experience is zero. Now, when you finish your program, you have your IT related job as a system analyst, yes, usually they will start with system analyst. After a few years, they have some experiences, then they can proceed to the project manager position. All right. Now, with zero knowledge, if you handle your first IT project, you can apply or you can use any traditional methodologies. Why? Because they provide detailed steps on how to conduct or run your project. However, if you want to adopt any traditional methodologies, you need to make sure that you have clear requirements. What are the requirements? Anything you need to include in your system. And how you determine your requirements? That's why you need to have discussions with your client or business users. Okay, and also most of the time for the traditional SDM, they focus on the product excellence, meaning that you want to produce almost error-free product. When I said product, what is the product in this case? Information system. Okay, your product is not house or it's not a building, but we are talking about information system project. So your final product should be IS, information system project. Regardless you develop IS in different platform, mobile based, web based, multimedia based, and etc. Okay, and another thing is that rigid and strict rules, meaning that this traditional SDM devoid of flexibility. You developers or users unable to change or modify your requirements. Okay, so that's why requirements need to be clear and fixed. So during the initial project planning, your client and you agreed to develop a system with 10 functionalities, okay, or 10 system features. So what you need to design, what you need to implement, only these 10 as agreed during the initial project plan. You cannot modify, you cannot remove, you cannot add. That's we call it as a rigid and strict. Okay, devoid flexibility, rigid. Now, another thing that why it is good for beginners, because it emphasizes on full documentation. Generally, in each stage or phase, you need to produce some documents. Okay, right now, there are many methodologies under this traditional, but in this lecture, I will only introduce 3 methodologies belong to the traditional SDM: waterfall, SSADM, and V-model. Okay, now let's start with the first methodology belong to the traditional SDM, waterfall. Very popular. Okay, I did my degree, to be honest, more than 10 years ago, and we already learned this waterfall methodology. Okay, although I didn't use this waterfall for my degree final year project. Okay, my degree project was multimedia based system, and even for my master I didn't use this waterfall, although this one very popular. My master project was speech recognition, and then my PhD was in the data analytics. So I used methodology in data analytics domain. This one is system development, isn't it? So I didn't develop a system for my master and my PhD. It's more onto data analytics. All right, now very popular. Okay, very popular, and in terms of stages or phases, very close to SDLC. If you're wondering, so what are the SDLC phases? Open again lecture week 1 yesterday. Okay, so they have analysis and requirements, design, implementation, along with testing. Okay, but if you utilize your search engine, I believe you will find waterfall phases, whereby the testing is separated with the implementation. Yes, that's fine too. Okay, different version, but basically they should have implementation and testing. Verification, this one is some diagram. They put the testing inside this verification. Okay, meaning that inside verification there is also validation and maintenance. Okay, right. So because this is very close to SDLC, therefore waterfall can be used for almost all types of projects. Highly structured, rigid, and sequential, meaning, okay, sequential meaning that developer will need to focus at one phase at a time. So for example, project manager usually will need to create the project timeline or project schedule, isn't it? So according to the project schedule, the first 2 months, okay, that is when you need to do planning and analysis. So for that, the overall 2 months, you will focus on this phase, analysis and requirements. Okay, so that we call it as a sequential. Because of this sequential approach, it helps developers to promote quality control in terms of project process and also product. Why? Because you focus on one phase at a time or one step at a time. And in each step or phase, you will need to produce some documentations. Okay, so now, so what actually you do during the requirements, analysis and requirements, yes? So, well, basically during the requirements, system analyst, okay, I repeat again, system analyst is one of the job, IT job positions that is highly related to this module. Okay, system development methods. Okay, this module really relevant with system analyst job role, and the other one project manager job role. Okay, so if you interested to be say a programmer, okay, so that meaning that you need to study deeper in the programming modules and etc. Okay, so now, so I repeat again. So what happened during the requirements? As a system analyst, you need to collect all requirements, all user expectations, then you analyze. Okay, so who will provide the requirements? Your client, your user. Okay, so for example, I own my business, okay, and I hire you, for example, Yanting, okay, so you are my system analyst, and I hire you to design a new system for my business. And Yanting, you are my system analyst, you need to collect requirements, what I need in this new system, okay, and also you need to study my problems, okay, what actually happened in my business, what are the processes and etc. What are the operations and etc. So you need to collect all requirements, all expectations here. Okay, once you finish your data collection, information, you analyze and etc., then you proceed to design. Okay, so you design according to your collected requirements. What you need to do in design, there are many things. Okay, as a system analyst and also system designer, well, you need to design your database design. You need to design your user interface. You need to design, input form, how your user can provide data or input to your system. You need to design some output or reports. Okay, what your system need to generate for this business or company. All right, then once you finalize your design, then proceed to implementation, most of coding task. Okay, then usually in the implementation, the programmers play important role in this implementation. Okay, so when you implement, you should decide what programming language you will use, and finally you conduct validation and verification testing. There are many testing when it comes to software development project. For example, okay, where is it? This one what I explained before. Yes, system implementation. Okay, so in waterfall, usually when it comes to testing, they always start to test the smallest part of the program, or we call it as unit. So each unit need to be tested individually. All right, unit in the programming term, okay, if it is a traditional programming or structured programming, unit equal to function. If you are not from IT program, you can use the search engine, isn't it? What does it mean function in programming? Or if you use object-oriented programming, a unit equal to class. Okay, so you need to test each unit, each function, and each class. Then you also need to conduct some integration testing. Integration testing meaning that you want to combine multiple units, test whether they can work together in order to produce specific results. That we call it integration testing. And finally, you need to conduct system testing. Okay, integration testing, and you need to conduct entire system testing to test the overall system capabilities and functionalities. Now, is it the role of system analyst? No. When it comes to validation, verification, or testing, software tester plays important role. Okay, right? Then once you finish your testing, then you deploy your system. You release your system to your client or user. Okay, so if you develop a mobile application, meaning that you need to upload your app into a Google Play or Apple Store and etc. Okay, if you develop websites or web application, meaning that you need to upload your web files, you need to choose your domain, web hosting, and etc. Okay, if you develop a desktop app or standalone application, then you need to provide installation file. Then you need to install at your users or client site or company. Okay, then next one, you need to provide support and maintenance. Now, how long you need to provide maintenance? Duration, most of the time, depending on the contract and negotiation between developers and client. Okay, in your negotiation, you can have agreement that your company, your IT company, provide 6 months of maintenance or maybe 1 year of maintenance and etc. But the purpose of maintenance is that to resolve to resolve any errors, okay, or to make that system become more adaptable if any changes in environment, or to improve your system performance. Okay, so for example, during the maintenance, let's say if you develop web application for my business, okay, web application for my business. So this one only example, yes. So when you deploy my web app, okay, based on our discussion, for example, yes. So the storage for my web app is only 1 terabyte. Okay, to store all my web documents, files, and etc. Okay, right? So after 6 months of system operation, all right, so this system become operational for my business. After 6 months, all right, usually as a developer or IT company, they have some schedule or plan of system maintenance. Okay, after 6 months, then you suggest to increase my storage from 1 terabyte. Maybe you suggest me, okay, Dr. Dewi, because you have more customers, you have more products, okay, you have more data to be stored, then you need to upgrade to 5 terabyte. In this case, this is one of perfective maintenance. Okay, perfective maintenance. Okay, to make your system better in terms of performance. In this case, improvement in terms of storage. All right. So in a typical software development project, there are 4 types of system maintenance: corrective, the one I mentioned just now, perfective, adaptive, and preventive. Okay, right. So that is about the waterfall methodology. Now, so what happens if you finish your maintenance duration? Okay, so based on the agreement, okay, you provide only 6 months or only 1 year maintenance duration. So that one depending on the agreement between IT company and client. Will you renew the contract, or this company or me? I'm the business owner, isn't it? Maybe I can hire another company to maintain my system, or probably I have my internal IT staff to maintain my system. Okay, that we call it as a system administrator, the person who will take care the system during the system operational. Right. So yeah, that's it about the waterfall. Any question? Waterfall methodology. This is belong to the traditional SDM. Any question? Let me check my meeting chat box if any question. Quiet, yes? No question. Okay, right. Right, so if no questions, shall I proceed to the second one? Yes or no? I'm waiting your response. Shall I proceed to the second one?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, okay, good. Okay, so this one, very long name, yes, but we can just say SSADM. But SSADM stands for Structured System Analysis and Design Methodology. This is popular in the late 80s. Okay, in terms of characteristic, definitely same with the traditional SDM, rigid, detailed documentation. Okay, and usually SSADM is a good for projects that require complex database design. Okay, and it has strategies to align with business needs. This one during the BSO, this one business system option. Okay, business system options help developers as well as business users or owner to align with their business needs, vision, mission, and etc. Okay, but in terms of stages, the last stage called as physical design. So they don't have so-called maintenance. Okay, so when it comes to maintenance, maintenance is not one of phase or stage in the SSADM. Okay, so now is there any explanation? No explanation, then I will explain. Regardless any SDM you will adopt or use for your IT project, the first one should be planning, isn't it? Okay, the first one should be because there are some problems. Okay, there are some business problems, and therefore you have planned to solve that business problems, isn't it? So for instance, just now I mentioned, if I am the business owner, isn't it? So I have some problems in my business, and therefore I need new system to help solving my business problem. Okay, and you as a system analyst, you will plan something to help me solving my business problems, isn't it? Now, so based on your plan, you will conduct the first one, feasibility study. Okay, so who need to conduct this one, the study? System analyst. System analyst, not the client, not the project manager. Okay, system analyst, right? So what they need to do during the feasibility study? In a nutshell, the feasibility study aims to assess whether you can achieve project success. How you say that, okay, you have a project success? if you can complete this project, or you can develop and implement this system, okay, within the specified project duration and project budget. Okay, as a client, definitely I will tell you, hey, system analyst, I want you to finish this project. I want to use this system, okay, say within 5 months. I want to see the result, okay, within 5 months, and this is my budget. So that is when system analysts need to do some assessment, okay, feasibility study, whether yes or no, you can complete this project within my expectation. Okay, so now during the feasibility study, there are many components you need to study. What is it regarding my business? Okay, you want to study technicalities in my business. You want to study what are the current business processes in my business? What are the operations in my business? You can also study my staff and employees skills and etc. Okay, so you assess the problems, you assess any components in my business. Then, okay, you proceed to the next one. You investigate current environment. What do I have currently in my business? Okay, so for example, you can investigate what is it? How my employees in my business, they can do data sharing, for example. Okay, or how when my what is it? When my business need to produce certain reports and etc. So that's, we call it as an investigation of current environment. What are the reports my business need to produce in certain period and etc. Okay, so now based on the study and investigation, right, system analyst will provide some options on how to solve my business problems. Okay, at least you provide 2 options. Okay, Dr. Dewi, according to your business problems, according to your current business environment, okay, business environment and feasibility study can be in terms of technical, operational, economy, schedule, and etc. These are our options to solve your problem. Okay, so we can develop system A or we can develop system B. Okay, maybe they are similar, but usually in terms of options, there should be slight differences, and definitely you need to explain the strengths and weaknesses for each option. Now, this we call it as a business system option. Based on your proposed options to solve my business problem, usually business users or client will we'll review the option and we'll try to align with our business needs, because any business, we should have short-term goal and long-term goal, isn't it? Okay, so definitely here during the business system option, I will assess, oh, if I choose option 1, can this system help me to, for example, yes, one of the consideration usually in terms of the economical side, okay, whether this option or this system able to help me increase my business profit. Okay, or if I choose option number 2, is this option able to help me to increase my employee satisfaction or my customer satisfaction and etc. There are certain consideration in choosing the option. All right, but basically during the business system option, I will need to choose one specific option. Okay, then based on the selected option, system analyst will need to go deeper, identify the requirements in detail and deeper according to the selected option. Okay, so what is it? Here you need to go deeper. Oh, what are the functionalities? What are the non-functional requirements? What are the security requirements and etc. Okay, and what are the interface requirements and etc. Okay, so there are many requirements we can determine here. Then based on the collected requirements, you can produce technical system options. This one is in terms of what software you need to use to develop your system. Software can be what database management system, what programming language, what security mechanism, and you can also propose logical design. Logical design is one example is that your user interface design, your input form, data dialog, or error handling, for example. Yes. Then finally, according to your technical option and logical design, proceed to the physical design. Now here in the physical design is basically implementation. You implement your design, then you conduct some testing, then deploy. Okay, they don't have maintenance phase in the SSADM methodology. Once you finish your physical design, usually yes, you still need to conduct some testing and deploy your system. Okay, so these are the phases in the SSADM. In terms of design, okay, when it comes to design, logical and physical design, okay, we can use variety of design techniques. You can produce logical data modeling to determine high level requirement of your system. Determine the components, entities, okay. Entities means anyone, okay, or any part who will interact with the system. What are the main processes, okay? Or you can also develop data flow modeling to describe movement of your data in the system. You can also determine how data can transform into knowledge or information, storage, and also data flow. Or entity event modeling to determine and describe any processes or operation in your system. Okay, you can use event sequence diagram, dependency diagram, and etc. Okay, so that is in terms of SSADM. So it's very theoretical, isn't it? Because at this stage, you learn only the concept and phases, but actually how you apply when you have your real IT project. Okay, give me a moment, please. Any question about the SSADM? Any question? Now, the next one is that V model. V model is basically extended version of waterfall. Okay, extended version of waterfall. However, the diagram, it represent V shape, therefore it is called as V model. Okay, so here the horizontal determine project time or project duration. Okay, and then this one determine the some activities to define your project, and the other side, the right side, to determine the project test and integration. Now in terms of phases, basically very similar with waterfall. Okay, so you have your problem, and then you have some concept and plan how to solve the problem. Then you collect your requirements, analyze your requirements, and you produce. The first one is that architecture design. Architecture design is basically top level or a big picture of your proposed system. Okay, and according to the collected requirements and architecture design or high level design, proceed to the detail or low level design. Okay, for example, during the architecture design, it is very high level, a big picture of your proposed system. Okay, now if I talk about e-commerce system, yes, one of the system functionality you can propose here is that customer should be able to make a new purchase or new order. Okay, new order. That's it. That is only during the high level or architecture design, only big picture. Okay, there will be new order or make a new order function in our system. But when you go deeper, okay, into the detailed design, then you can break this function. Okay, oh, basically, when you make a new order, okay, basically first, what is it? You must log into the system. Second, you must, what is it? Select the product. Next one, you must identify quantity. Okay, how many item? Okay, quantity. Then, what is it? Your system need to calculate the total of order amount, because it is very possible that in one order we include some products, isn't it? So each product maybe will have different quantity. Okay, right? Then what next? To confirm this order, then that customer will need to do before payment, usually they need to provide shipping information. Okay, right? Then to confirm the order, then you need to do some payment. Okay, system need to receive the payment info, then the order will be confirmed and proceed to the next one, which is shipping process. So basically, when you go to detailed design, there should be more details, okay, for each system functionality. Then you implement, conduct testing and verification. Okay, usually you can you can start with the unit testing, integration testing, and finally you test overall system capability, and definitely you provide operation support and maintenance. Now, if you ask me, so if V model is extended version of waterfall, why they came out with this V model? Now, there is a slight differences between waterfall and V model, which is this one. In the V model, you can conduct validation and verification almost in each phase. Okay, so for example, once I collect my requirements and I propose my architecture design, which is the high level design, before I proceed to the detailed design, okay, I can do verification whether my requirements and my design basically consistent with the concept of my system. Yes, then proceed to the detailed design. No, maybe you need to do some revision here. Okay, once you do revision, check again, verify again. Oh, is your requirements, is your architecture design consistent with the concept of your system? Yes, then proceed to the next one. Same, once you finish your detailed design, before you proceed to implementation, you verify again. Is your detailed design consistent with your high level design and consistent with your stated requirements? Yes, then you can proceed to implementation. So that's what makes V model different with waterfall. I repeat, we can conduct verification and validation in each phase. But I have another question. Okay, what is it? They use top down. Yes, top down meaning that you start with general idea. Okay, it's like this. So you start with a general idea, you narrow down, then you propose the specific idea or detailed design. This one you can create or you can conduct validation and verification at end of each phase. All right. In terms of testing, yes, you can conduct a variety of testing, unit integration, system user acceptance testing. But my question is that, can someone differentiate between verification and validation? I think regardless you do IT or non-IT program for your degree, you should know what is the difference between verification and validation, isn't it? Anyone? Anyone can help me? Can you differentiate between verification and validation? You can speak up. I'm looking at my meeting chat box. Anyone? Can you differentiate between verification and validation?
Miss, I can maybe try.
Quiet.
Uh,
Okay, in a okay, I will explain in terms of software development project, yes. If it is verification, you want to check whether you build a system according to your uh, system specification or requirements. Okay, so for example, that in your system requirements, okay, in your system requirements, you will need to store your customer data. And your customer data, including their full name, their address, their email address, their phone number, date of birth, and etc. If you want to do verification, you want to check whether, yes, your system, okay, you build your system based on your specification. Your system able to store this customer data, starting from full name until date of birth. Okay, so you build according to the specification or according to the stated documentation. Validation, the aim is that to check whether you are able or you build a system that meet your user expectations. Okay, okay, so most of the time, okay, another thing is that verification not necessary to execute the source code. Okay, because why? During the verification, you can only you can conduct verification by doing document review and etc. But validation, most of the time, you need to execute your source code or your program. Okay, one example. Okay, one example that previously in this new system there should be one function whereby my customer should be able to create or make a new order. All right. Then what happened is that we need to test this function. Okay. So maybe what is it? We create one dummy account with customer role, and we check whether this customer able to make new order. Okay, so that is the difference between verification and validation. Okay, now, although structured or traditional methodologies is a good option for beginner, okay, but there are some setback. The first one is that rigid. Okay, rigid meaning devoid flexibility, and also it is discourage skipping some steps, and this we call it as this one red tapes. Okay, too many steps, too many documentation you need to produce, and sometimes those are not necessary for your project, and therefore wasting time and resources. Okay, and it is good that they focus on the process and product quality, but also they don't really consider on the customer satisfaction. Why? Why? Because in the typical traditional methodology, your user, your client cannot see the product. Okay, so only after you finish all the testing, okay, then you can release or deploy your system. So usually within few months, your client should able to see the product or the system. Okay, so if so what happened if any changes? They cannot change. Remember that this is rigid. Okay, and requirement need to be defined in the beginning, so that therefore we need during the planning and analysis we need to have clear and detailed requirements, what we need to do, what we need to include in our system. And for large project, usually in terms of project cost, project time, often unpredictable. Yeah, for large projects. But according to my experience, basically, if we have large project, okay, very huge or large projects, most of the time we can do blending methodologies. Okay, I think we can discuss blending methodologies in week 3. Okay, because next week my plan is that to discuss agile methods. Okay, agile methods or modern methodologies. Okay, modern methodologies also known as agile methodologies. Next week. Okay, any question? Any question about traditional SDM? So okay, this one I'll leave it for you, yes, for your research. But any question? Let me check my meeting chat box. Validation, yes. Confirming something, yes. Okay. Any question? No? Quiet? Okay, right. Then okay, wait a minute. Let me open something. Your activity. Okay, now let's do our tutorial. Oh, okay, maybe I'll give you a short break, yes, before we do second agenda. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes break. Then we do our tutorial activity. Okay, I'll get back to you in 5. Okay, now let's get back to the class. I have one activity. Yes, so let me share my picture. Okay, right. So can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, good. Don't be too quiet, students. Okay, so this is activity for you to identify any 3 IS that you use in daily basis for any purpose. Okay, for the education, for entertainment, and etc. At least 3 information system. And for each IS, you need to identify the IS type and describe how you use that system. Okay, now regarding the IS type, wait, let me share my Padlet. You need to share your answer in my Padlet interactive board. Okay, wait a minute. Right. Okay, share your answer. Okay, you can open this one. All right. Okay, can you find the file? I mean, can you open the link? Now, you can start your answer, yes, by clicking this button to add a new post. Okay, so this on the bottom right, you will see the pink button. Now, in the subject, please indicate your full name and your TP number. Okay, because I will record your activity. Right? Now, then in the message here, you can type your answer. Okay, I would like to explain regarding the IS types. Generally, if we see information system based on the functionalities, okay, IS can be considered as enterprise. Enterprise system usually a system that able to support complex business process. Okay, the second one, there is also a system, we call it as a user productivity system. Now, in the user productivity system, usually it allows user to do data sharing. For example, this one, Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is one of user productivity system. Okay, so we can do data sharing, even we can create this, what is it, online meeting, even I can record my meeting, and etc. The next one, there is also transaction processing system. You can do your own research, yes, for further details. Transaction processing system usually, if this is to manage or to process any transactional data. When it comes to transactional, usually is in terms of selling and buying processes. Okay, for the transaction processing system. The next one, it can be in terms of business support. Now, business support system is usually a system that can be used for a specific business type and can be used by all people in that business. Okay. Next one, we call it as this one. Knowledge-based. Okay, knowledge-based system usually or also known as expert system. Okay, so in the knowledge-based system, okay, I can click publish. Yes. Knowledge-based system usually we have someone that we use as our expert for our system. Example, I want to develop say dengue fever prediction system. Okay, now I don't have any knowledge about dengue fever symptom, isn't it? So then I will choose one specialist doctor in this field, okay, dengue fever. Then I will collect knowledge from this expert. That's why this doctor we call it expert. Okay, so I will collect knowledge from this expert. Then I will convert into my system functionalities, and my system will be able to predict whether someone has dengue fever or no. So usually based on some symptom, isn't it? Oh, okay. According to my expert, you can determine whether someone has dengue fever or no. First, you can check body temperature. Second, you can check whether the person has body pain, for example, or if they what is it? Yes, fever, or if they have some nausea and etc. So according to some symptoms, then we can able to predict yes or no whether this person has dengue fever or no. Okay, so according to the system functionalities, we can determine IS into 5 different types. Now for each type, okay, okay, this one I think I will, if you want to edit, yes, you can click this ellipsis symbol, the 3 buttons, okay, you can click edit, okay, just notes. Okay, so now can type. So number 1, for example, yes, I usually use, definitely I'm using my Teams. Okay, and Microsoft Teams consider as user productivity. You cannot choose the same one, yes. Don't select Microsoft Teams. I did my Teams already. So Microsoft Teams consider as user productivity system and describe. Okay, I use MS Teams to conduct my online classes, etc., etc. Okay, you can add more description. Okay, number 2, please identify other system. Okay, and identify the type and describe how you use the system. Same. Third one, identify another system, identify the type, and describe how do you use the system. Then you can click publish. Right, so go ahead. I'll give you maybe few minutes to do this activity. Maybe 10 minutes. So this is the activity. I'll get back to you in 10. And this is real-time interactive board. Okay, so we can see the progress. I can see that some of you, okay, you are typing. Okay, I'll get back to you in 10. Okay, Sebastian, I received your answer. The Stack Overflow, can you do data sharing? Sebastian.
Hello, yes.
Hi, okay, I can see your answer here. You mentioned about the Stack Overflow. So
Yes.
can you do data sharing? I don't really use this one, Stack Overflow. Is this one?
Yes, down.
Okay, so what we can do here? Okay, so you can create account.
You can create an account. If you have any issues, you can post it onto the forum, and the people of the community, some people will offer to help you, help you resolve your issues.
Okay.
Or you can also help other people resolve their issues if you know how to
Okay.
fix their problems. There's a lot of solutions to many different programming languages and even to some technical problems for like computers or even networking related stuff.
Okay. Right. Then can we sharing what? Can we do data sharing or what?
What do you mean data sharing?
Can you share some documents, file?
I mean, people usually don't share file. People share pictures, but
Okay. Right. For this case, I don't think so. This consider as knowledge base because you don't really. I mean, someone provide their knowledge in answering some question, isn't it? But that knowledge is not be converted as system functions. So when it comes to knowledge-based system, okay, so we convert human knowledge into system functions.
okay.
So I think for this case, we can consider this website as user productivity.
Okay.
Yes, so please revise the last one. But I do agree that Shopee is transaction processing. It's more onto selling and buying. Okay, Google Suite, yes, definitely user productivity. Okay, so the last one you can revise. AirAsia,
Okay.
yes, transaction
Yes.
processing. Epispace management information system. Epispace is okay. Epispace, yes. Okay, management information system. I would say, Michelle, for our Epispace, we can consider this one as a business support system. Why? Because Epispace can be used by almost all people in FU, from student, academic staff, administrative staff. Okay, so this is more onto a business support system. Which one? This one, business support system. Okay, to support our business operations and can be used by almost all people in that business. Okay, right? So GSC. Oh, GSC is that the cinema, isn't it? Is that they shut down, isn't it? I think they shut down already. Is that GSC cinema? Oh, not GSC, the one they shut down is the other one. MBO, isn't it? Yes, this one also one of IS, and this one considered as transaction processing. Okay, correct. Ciao, shop. Can you be specific? Which one is the shopping system here in Malaysia? Oh, okay, Alibaba. Okay, chat system. What chat system you use? Do you use WhatsApp, Telegram? And what type of system? Can you identify the system type? You can refer to my notes, this one. Okay, please identify the type of system.
In China, Alibaba is a big shop online.
Yes, for me, I think we can say that Alibaba considered as a transaction processing system.
Oh.
Okay, so you can refer to my note, this one. Okay, so I repeat again, if we see system based on the functionalities, we can categorize system into 5 types. Enterprise system, user productivity, transaction processing, business support, or knowledge-based system. Now for each system, please identify the type.
Okay.
Okay, and please be specific. The chat system and the game system, you need to determine the system name. Okay, messaging or chatting system, you can use WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook Messenger. Grab, user productivity to travel. Epispace, okay. Epispace, I would say business support. MySejahtera knowledge based system, yes. MySejahtera. What can we do with MySejahtera? Udemy, user productivity system. Okay, Udemy. Okay, Udemy is an online course, isn't it? Okay. Okay, in Udemy, can you execute some source code? Okay, another thing I want to inform, it is possible that one IS belong to 2 types. Okay, for example, that this system considered as business processing system, business support system, but also using someone knowledge. So we can put it into 2 categories or 2 types. Now Udemy, I think I did some courses before in Udemy, but can you execute some source code? Yes or no?
I don't think so, but Udemy has some interactive MCQ-like stuff to test your knowledge based on the course.
Okay. But I do agree that this is one of user productivity system. Okay, PayPal is a transaction, yes. Lia, Maybank transaction. Notion. Oh, okay. I never use this one. User productivity. ResearchGate, knowledge-based system. Looking for academic articles. Zunaid, Coursera, user productivity. Okay, this one for online course. Foodpanda transaction, correct. Epispace, business support. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, so I should give rate. This one done, user productivity rate. This one also complete. Ciao, please revise, then I provide my rating. This one also good. Zunaid, yes, good. Okay, well done, students. Any question? Yeah, I think that's all for today's class. So for next week, okay, you still have about 30 minutes, but please use this time to start your assignment. Okay, you can start your assignment. Maybe you can start with question number 1. Let me show you your question again. Okay, you can get your assignment question here in the Moodle. Proceed to this one, assignment question. Okay, and please read the submission guidelines. Okay, so please take this 30 minutes to start your assignment. Okay, to start your assignment. Right, so this is your assignment. Please use this cover page, check the submission date. Now, I suggest you to start with tutorial 2. Okay, there are 3 questions. You can start number 1, benefit of applying SDLC, and some problems, and you can draw your diagram of SDLC. Now, when you draw your diagram, you can use any drawing tool. Okay, for instance, you can, if you have Microsoft Visio on your laptop, yes, you can use you can create new project, you can use basic diagram. Even if you don't have any drawing tool or design tool, you can use your PowerPoint. Okay, you can use your PowerPoint, and the basic one you can use this one, Smart Art. Okay, so you can check, right? So anything, or you can also use online tool. This one of them is that Draw.io. So this is online, open source online tool. Okay, to draw your SDLC diagram. This one for question tutorial 2, question 3. So this one can use any drawing. Okay, so for example, Draw.io, Visio, etc. Okay, not hand drawing. Okay, not hand drawing. So you need to use tool to draw your SDLC diagram. Now in your diagram, you need to include SDLC main phases along with its sub phases or subtasks. So if you open your slides from yesterday's slide, is very similar with, it's open. It's very similar with this diagram. This one. You need to include the main phases, then you need to identify sub phases or task in each phase. Right, so that is for question 3, tutorial 2. Your diagram should include the main phases and sub phases or subtasks. Right, and you can provide only brief description, because the detail you can do it in tutorial 3 question. Okay, tutorial 3 is basically to explain each phase in the SDLC in detail, because you need to provide sub phases, people involved, input, document, output, techniques, and etc. Right, so please take this time to start your assignment. You have maybe 20 minutes. Right, so I will open your attendance. This one tutorial, 10 December 2:45. All right. Scan your attendance, and yeah, I think that's all for today's class. I'll see you next week. So for next week, your classes will be, I think, same timing, yes? If I'm not mistaken, should be same timing. Let me check your timetable, and please check your timetable. Yes, check your class timetable. For next week, should be the same one. On Thursday will be the lecture class at 4:15, and on Friday the same timing for tutorial 2:45. Okay, bye students, take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye and take care.